Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Hope you're all well and have had a great Sunday like I have. I've been a proper Brit today. Those of you English logging in will know what I mean when I say I've had a proper roast dinner today with mince pie and custard to finish. It was lush. Brit living abroad, I'm a typical Brit living abroad, and every now and then I just really crave my creature comforts. Today was one of those days. That's what I've been doing with my day. Hope you've had a wonderful Sunday too. Let me know as you're getting logged into this if you're logging in live on this beautiful Sunday evening. Give me a hashtag live. Joanne, you appreciate a roast. Oh, me too. So yeah, give me a hashtag live if you're live. Give me a hashtag replay if you're watching on replay. Hey Andrea. And let me know where you're logging in from. Really interesting to know whenever I do these live trainings where the audience is that's logging in. So let me know that too, because in the not so distant future I'm going to be doing live events, and knowing where you guys are. Hi Jess, oh that's my sister, love you. Not long come back from the UK and leaving her behind and her beautiful children, my two nieces, was so hard. I think I've been in mourning for the last few days. We literally cried our eyes out, didn't we, Jess, when I left. So tonight, guys, as you guys are getting logged in, give me a hashtag live, give me a hashtag replay. Tonight, I love you too. Tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about income and money and how to get your hands on some more of it, basically. Because I get messages a lot, all of the time, from entrepreneurs, amazing fierce females that say to me, Michelle, you know, I'm working my arse off. I've got these goals, I've got these dreams, I'm not quite sure where I'm going wrong, and it's like that fog and that confusion can be all consuming, and that feeling of I can't see the woods for the trees creeps in, and we start to feel anxious and nervous and desperate, like it's never going to happen for us. Before you know it, you're scrolling through Facebook looking what other people are doing and fucking hating them because they've got what you've got. We've all been there, come on, let's be real, we've all been there. And then we start comparing ourselves to people, and before you know it, you're in a pit. That's what I want to talk about tonight a little bit. I want to talk about what to do right now, what to focus on right now to get real results really quickly. Because I honestly believe, folks, that success doesn't have to be long, drawn out. You know, people that say that, people that say it takes a long time and hard work to build wealth, that's their reality, and I understand where they're coming from on that. You know, has it been easy to build a huge business? And no, of course it's not been easy. And has it took a lot to do that? Yes, it has, but it doesn't mean that it has to be a long process in terms of from setting up your business to being really profitable, really fast, and creating the sort of income that can change your life. That doesn't have to be a long process at all. And a life-changing income is different for everybody. It could be a couple of grand to get you out of a job that's sucking the life of you that you absolutely hate. It could be 5 grand a month to get you out of your job, double your income, and mean that you have more options and more choices. It could be to take your income from 10 grand a month to 20, 30 grand a month. You know, it means different things to different people, but what I want to talk about tonight is how to get yourself into a space where you understand what we should be focusing on right now that will give you the best shot at wealth. And when I say wealth, I mean financially, but I also mean in terms of lifestyle fulfillment and happiness, because what's wealth if you've got money in the bank but you don't love your life? I don't believe that is real wealth. So I'm talking about everything that is included on that. Now, first, to understand that, we need to understand a bit of history. Because to understand the mystery of wealth and money, we need to understand the history. And I'm a bit of a geek, so what I've done is simplified all of this stuff that can be, but it can be boring, it can be complicated, it can mean reading books on economics and stuff like that. And I know not everybody wants to do that. I'm a bit of a geek at heart, so this stuff fascinates me. But what I've done is tried to put it in a way that, you know, anybody can understand and implement really quickly, because if you're anything like me, when it comes to even just the word economics, although a bit of a geek, it still makes me draw back and go, I don't want to read that shit. So I want to kind of help you with something that I've learned that really helped me to know what to focus on to create wealth right now in this day and age that we're living in. And that is the history of where wealth started and how it's been created, because if the one thing that I know is true is that when you look back over history of all the people that have ever achieved significant wealth, they've done it by focusing on the economic age that they're part of. So they've done it by knowing what economic age they're in and knowing the quickest and easiest and most effective way to create wealth in that age. That's what they've done. And if we look back over the ages, that's true for most wealthy people, with very few exceptions. And I'll help you understand what I mean by that now. So let's start with the first economic age, because there's been seven economic ages. And the first one started, at the beginning of time, the Garden of Eden, the agricultural age. That was the first economic age. And it was all about land. The landowners were the wealthy people. The more land you had, the more wealth you created. It was as simple as that. And this was a time where there was super rich, super poor, and nothing in the middle. Because if you owned land, you had money. If you didn't, you worked for the people that owned the land. And that was it. They were really rich, they were really poor. There was a real divide in class, a real divide in financials and wealth. And the other thing is, there was no opportunity to grow wealth unless you were born into wealth. Because for somebody that was working on the land, you were never going to raise enough capital to be able to buy loads of land yourself. Therefore, you had to be born into money to have money. So money stayed in the generations. It stayed with the families that had money, and they kept passing it down. And that was just the way it was. There wasn't an opportunity for someone to be born poor and go on to create wealth. That just wasn't an option. People didn't move around, they didn't travel, they kind of were born in a place, grew up in a place, died in a place, and that was the way life was lived. They were long hours, long days, and everybody did the same thing. The education system, not so much. It was all about learning how to work on the land, because that's the only jobs that were available, and that was the agricultural age. And we were in that age for thousands and thousands of years. And the wealthy people, and this is the point I want to drum home, the wealthy people owned the land in the agricultural age, because they focused on, obviously, the thing that was relevant for their economic age. They focused on that and they made money. And then in the 1950s, we switched into the industrial age. No longer was it land equals money, it was machines equals money. Everything started to change in the industrial age. It played a huge part in the way society as we know it today has been shaped. When the industrial age was formed, that, what we know as of, sorry, I'm trying to read your comments at the same time. I'm going to stop trying to do that because it will distract me. I'll go back and answer them all afterwards. But what we know of the world today, and the working week, and the 9 to 5, and the holiday pay, and the benefits, if you like, that was created in the industrial age, because before the industrial age there was none of that. So the rat race was born in the industrial age, the hustle was born in the industrial age, because this was the first time that the middle class was created. So it was no longer landowners, people that worked on the land, rich, poor, nothing in the middle. Now there was this middle class created, because more jobs were created, senior positions within those companies were created. It was now possible to be born poor and still go on to be stinking rich. Didn't matter who your family were anymore. People like Henry Ford were creating their businesses around this time. Henry Ford was born into absolute poverty and went on to be one of the most influential people when it comes to cars and the motor industry. That happened in the industrial age. So now it was getting easier to create wealth. If you think about it, land, agricultural age, born into it or not. Didn't matter how hard you worked, didn't matter what you learned, that was the state of the show. Industrial age, different now. The game's changed a little bit. Normal, average people can create wealth, even if they're not born into it. So that really changed the game, and it meant that people were getting rich out of machinery. Now, what you've got to think about is, again, all of the wealth, all of the iconic people got rich in that era by playing to the strength of the era that they were in. And that's why this stuff's relevant, because it's about knowing the trend and then knowing what to do today to make it relevant to you. So what happened next? The next thing that happened was we moved into into the distribution age. So this was around in the 1970s, 1978. Because if you think about it, the ages make way for the next age. So if you think about the agricultural age, it was all about farming, growing on the land, and then we moved into the industrial age because it became about machinery, because the agricultural age made way for the machines, and now it becomes about distribution, because now we can retail these products that are being made on the land, pushed through factories, turned into products. Now the people that are getting rich are the retailers. So it became about retail outlet equals money and wealth. So it's not about land anymore, it's not about only the machines, now it's about the people that take the product and sell it on for a profit. And this was the distribution age. And this was where multi-level marketing companies were created in the 70s. It's where shopping channels were created and became really popular. Franchises were created and became really popular. Because consumption was important in the distribution age. There were people that were now of the middle class that had disposable income and wanted to spend it. So the consumerism started in the distribution age and peaked. So, you know, it was about having a retail outlet, having a retail store where you could serve that consumerism, and they were the people that got rich. So in the distribution age, you're talking outlets equals wealth. And if you look at the 1950s to the 1950s to the 1978, you can see that most of the iconic wealthy people were in retail. It was about outlets. And then we move into a different age from around 1978 till the early 1990s, 1994, we moved into the tech age, the technology age. And this was an interesting shift again, because this was like the first time really that knowledge became power. Because now tech knowledge equals wealth. And everybody wanted to be in IT in the early 90s. You probably remember this, like everybody was going to university and learning IT and getting masters and degrees in IT, and everybody wanted to work in computers because there was this computers of the future mentality, and if you know about them, you'll always be all right, you can always make money. And that's where the millionaires were starting to be born in the technology age, because it was the people with the knowledge of the computers that were making all the money. And this was where we started to see like teenagers become millionaires. And what you can see as you go through the ages is it's become easier and easier to become wealthy. And those beliefs about, well, if you're not born into wealth, then wealth's not meant for you, they're still ingrained in us and we can still think them, but they're not true, because of things as have evolved economically. It's meant that more opportunity has become available for anybody to be wealthy. And in the technology age, this is the first point where you don't even need a physical product to be wealthy. You just need to know some stuff, and you need to know stuff about the right thing that's applicable to your age to become really rich. So that was a really interesting shift. And then we moved into the information age. And this is where we shifted into an age where information equals wealth. And this was between 1994 and 2003, where now, all of a sudden, you don't have to own anything in terms of physical product, service, etc., or even have the knowledge of computers, if you like, to use the internet to get your information out there and monetize it. This is where that became possible. This is what's leading us up to where we are now, and where it got more exciting and more exciting, because then in 2003 to 2008 we went into like this techno information education age. This is where people are using the internet to educate people and monetizing that, but in fun and quirky ways. This is where we're seeing YouTube videos go viral, like little how-to tutorials that are done in funny ways suddenly go viral, and people earning fortunes from making YouTube videos, etc. There was a guy called Jeff Foxworthy who created like cassette tapes with funny jokes on them, and this is like where we're going with it. It's like quirky education in people's hands really easily. And what's interesting about that is it started to become about the network you're creating, not necessarily the service that you're delivering, because It's about having something interesting to share on the internet that people want to tap into, and then that network itself became valuable because it's valuable to somebody like advertisers, etc. And that's where this started to really kick off. Which brings us to where we're at now, and why it's never been a more freaking exciting time to build an online business, because we're now in the age of strategic partnerships. And I'll give you an example of a strategic partnership. It was 2007 that Apple bought out the iPhone, and then 2008 the App Store partnered with them. So you've got a company here that offers the iPhone, a company here that offers apps. Boom, strategic partnership. What would an iPhone be without an app? What would an app be without an iPhone? That had to happen. How lucrative was that strategic partnership? And that's what strategic partnership is. It's about having a mutually beneficial partnership, mutually beneficial financially. And that's what this age is all about. Because, and here's the thing guys, this is why I buzz off the work that I do, because I know that I can help anybody monetize who they are and what they know right now online, because everybody knows something that's valuable to somebody else, and it can be your natural way of being, your brilliance, who you are because of the struggles you've faced and the experiences you've had and the way you've overcome them can be something that's extremely valuable to somebody else. We all have that. Every single person has the ability to help someone else, and you've always had that ability, but the difference now is that it's really easy to get your message in front of people and help those people all around the world at your fingertips on a mobile phone, on a laptop, etc., from anywhere. And that's why people are creating outrageous success with location independent businesses. And here's the thing, we see this happening all of the time, everybody does. Everybody can see that there's this wave of new ways of doing business through developing a killer personal brand, growing a network of people and monetizing it. Everybody can see that's happening. You'd have to be living under a rock to not see it. But half of the population are going, oh, so they're claiming that they're earning all that money, are they? I don't fucking believe it for a minute. I'm skeptical. I'll keep doing the day job, or I'm going to keep doing what I've always done. And then you've got the other half of the population going, how are they doing that? What questions do I need to ask to get skilled enough to do what they're doing and create something better for my life? So that I don't have to do something I don't love, so that I can earn what I'm worth, and so that I can create the lifestyle that I want. And here's the thing, your reality right now is a result, a direct result of the questions that you ask and the action that you take. It just is. So if you're somebody that's looked at other people doing it and you've said things like, oh, yeah, I can see she's really successful, but I could never do it because, or I can see she's really successful, but, or they're not the right questions to be asking. The questions that you should be asking is, how can I monetize who I am, what I know, and find out what's valuable that I have to offer to somebody else, and build an online business that is something to be proud of, something that I love doing, and something that serves me financially, because that's the economic age that we're in right now, guys. And the strategic partnership comes in with collaboration. So when I look at my business and everything that I've created, it's not just me. I've never claimed that it is, and I never will. Gosh, I'm so blessed to be in partnership with so many people to create what I've created. Some of them collaborations, and others partnerships that they don't even know they're in partnership with me, like Facebook. I'm in partnership with Facebook. It's my biggest advertising tool. When you know how to use Facebook for advertising, it is freaking lucrative. When you don't, you throw money at it with no clue, and that's not. You need to get some help to learn it, but it is, it's really lucrative. I'm in partnership with and collaboration with so many people that have made this happen, but it's about, first of all, knowing I need to have something valuable to offer a partnership. That's the big thing, isn't it? To be in a mutually beneficial partnership with somebody, I need to make myself valuable so that I can be in a strategic partnership and people will want to be in partnership with me on things. You know, the best way to make yourself really, really valuable is to grow a network, an audience of people that follow your work, because that's valuable to someone. If you think about the way YouTube stars became wealthy, it's not because they got paid every time somebody viewed their YouTube video, is it? It's because somebody looked at that and went, wow, that's got X amount of views, that's X amount of eyes on that. I will pay you to plug my product here because I see the value in your network. Network equals net worth. And I believe that, it's so true. So how do you build a network of people that know, like and trust you, that you can then monetize either with your own service or through advertising space, personal branding, knowing what you're doing with social media and having a strategy. And that's what I want to give to you today. So above this video, in a minute when I finish the live, I'm going to be posting a link to my 7-step formula to building a 7-figure online business. And I've never shared this before. This is something that I've only recently decided to share. It's normally exclusive to my premium clients. They're the only people that get their hands on it, but I want to give you top level. Obviously can't go into every little bit of detail on everything in the 7 steps, but I want to give you top level so that you can take some information and do something with it before the economic age changes and you're sat there going, I missed the boat, because I don't want that for any of you. And it's not to say you can't make money in the next economic age, of course you can, but the time is now for this stuff, and it really has never been easier. If we can learn something from this history, we can learn that every time that the economic ages have changed, it's got shorter. We stayed in the agricultural age for thousands of years, right up until when? Up until the 50s, when the industrial age kicked in. We only then stayed in the industrial age between the 50s and the late 70s. So that tells you a little bit about how much the gap got shorter. And then again, we stayed from 1970 to 94 in the technology age. And then each time it's got shorter and shorter. We've been in the age of strategic partnership now for 10 years. So what I'm saying to you is absolutely maximise it now and take advantage of it. It's never been easier than it is today to create, than it is today right now to create wealth for you. And it's never going to be easier again, I don't believe. And here's why I don't believe that, because I honestly know, I believe with every fibre of my being that when big corporations, big companies cotton on to the use of this stuff, Facebook, for example, Instagram, and using social media to further their brand and switch their advertising spend to that. I'm not saying that it will become saturated, I don't believe it ever can, but I'm saying it will be harder. It will be harder because when you're competing with the big boys that are spending billions on Facebook advertising, or just say 100 millions, because they're now spending it on the TV. At the minute they're spending it on the telly, and what do we do when the adverts come on the telly? We pick up our phone and start scrolling through social media. And it's not, there's a chain of command with these big companies. They've got a lot of people to go through before they can make a decision and divert their spend, but they're going to do it, I'm certain of it. If you're in self-development like me, the big boys are already doing it. The entrepreneurs that are coaches, mentors, etc., that are teaching and using social media as a platform to do it, to help other people enhance their life some way. Love to every single one of you that are doing that right now, because you are part of this change and you're changing the world for the better, and I believe that. You guys, you need to up your game now, because more and more people are doing that, but also the people that are in other industries, like you might be, I don't know, a makeup artist, you might be someone selling a physical product that's, let's say, in baby wear. When the giants in baby wear start selling their products using these same platforms that I'm describing, then it just gets harder for you. It doesn't become impossible, but it gets harder. I don't want you to go away from this scared in any way, thinking time's running out, but I'm just saying, just decide to take action now. Don't watch from the sidelines. Start to ask better questions. Start to take better action and take a slice of what can be yours so easily. There's no need anymore to go to a job that you hate. There's no need to run a business that you don't love. There's no need to suffer and be broke, because it's never been easier. You're not in the agricultural age where you have to be bored into money. You can create whatever you want, and you can create it starting today. And I want to give you a hand. So the link above is going to take you to this 7-step process that I've created. It's the same process that I launched my business from scratch and generated 60k in 5 weeks online, and then went on to do 6-figure months within just 10 months of starting out from scratch. And there's nothing special about me, nothing. I just decided to ask the right questions, take the right action. So I know you can too, and I want to give you a little bit of a leg up with the training. So download it now. It won't be around forever, it won't be free forever, but I want you to have it and I want you to do something with it. So comment below and tell me when you've downloaded it as a little bit of an accountability, as yes, Michelle, I've downloaded it and I'm going to actually take action as a result when I've watched it.